Our meeting for the Bradford County Board of Adjustment is now called to order. Mrs. Andrews is going to do our pledge of allegiance and our prayer.
We could bow our heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight, God. We pray that you will be with us in all the decisions that we may make. And Lord, we pray that whatever we do will be pleasant in your sight, dear Lord. Bless the people of Bradford County, God, and give us wisdom and the ability to do the right things for them, Lord. Thank you for all your mercy and your grace. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the record, we would note that Mr. Thompson is not present at this time. Okay. Mr. Andrews is going to facilitate in our old business.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chairman. Number 2 on our agenda is old business. I'd like the board to consider approval or correction to the minutes from the following previous meetings, which was the Board of Adjustment meeting held on Thursday, February 15th, 2024. We'd like to ask for comments, a motion for a vote, and a vote.
Okay. Are there any comments from the public at this time? Okay. Hearing none, ask for a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Doherty, second by Commissioner Reddick. Any discussion, questions? All in favor by the sign aye.
Aye.
A 4-0. Okay. Now new business.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. New business. This is SE 2401. This is a special exception 2401. It's an application petition by Joel Islam to request a special exception be granted as provided for in sections 4.7 RE Residential Estate, section 4.7.5, number 10 of the Bradford County Land Development Regulations to allow for a guest house with separate utility meter from primary structure to be located at the property described as follows. This is Lot 16, Indian Beach Unit Number 3, Plat Book 2, pages 42 and 43 of the Public Records of Bradford County, Florida. This is being Bradford County parcel number 06190-0-00000. This was basically, like I said, a mother-in-law suite that will be built up from the lake. I have a letter from the adjoining neighbor that says he has no problems with this. So again, we need to ask for public comments, a motion for a vote, and a vote.
Okay. At this time, are there any public comments? Hearing none, we'll have a motion for approval.
I make a motion for approval for the SE 24-01.
Motion by Commissioner Reddick. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Andrews. Any questions, further discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair. Mr. Andrews, I do have a question, and I apologize for not
That's all right.
catching this earlier. What about, so with the in-law suite or the additional unit, how are they going to handle septic?
They have been in touch with Anthony Dennis at the Health Department, and they are currently discussing that. But it's my understanding they have enough gallons and enough drainage septic system to allow for this. It's going to be a one-person guest house.
Okay.
It's not going to be kids and cousins for the weekends, all that good stuff. This
Right.
is truly a mother-in-law suite. So it's one individual that will be occupying this dwelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mr. Dennis he's looking into
Yes,
it,
sir.
but
Yes,
right
sir.
now, as far as capacity, it looks
Yes,
like it's there. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes,
Any
sir.
further, anything else, Mr. Commissioner Doherty?
No, that's all.
Good. Any other questions? All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor by the sign aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? 4-0. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. That's all I have for the Board of Adjustment.
Okay. We will close out the Board of Adjustment and move into our zoning.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This is the Thursday, April 18th, 2024 meeting for the Bradford County Planning and Zoning Board. It's a little after 6 o'clock. We've had a call to order. Second item on the agenda is old business. I'd like the board to consider approval or corrections to the minutes from the following previous meetings. The Planning and Zoning Board meeting was held on Thursday, September 21st, 2023. I need to ask for public comments, a motion, and a vote, please, ma'am.
Okay. Are there any public comments at this time? Hearing none, call for a motion for approval.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes that were held on Thursday, September 21st, planning and zone board meeting.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Andrews. There's a second to the motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Reddick. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor by the sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? A 4-0.
All right, Madam Chairman, item number 3, this is new business, so it's going to be a little lengthy, so. All right, the first item we're going to hear is S 240312A. This is an application by Susan E. Perkins to amend the future land use plan map of the comprehensive plan by changing the land use classification from agricultural to commercial on property described as follows. I will not read the legal description. I'll just provide the Bradford County parcel number, which is 04757-0-00000. This parcel contains 3.34 acres, more or less. I'll read it by title. This is resolution number PZ/LPA S 240312A, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Bradford County, Florida, serving as the Planning and Zoning Board of Bradford County, Florida, and the local planning agency of Bradford County, Florida, relating to an amendment of 50 or less acres of land to the future land use plan map of the Bradford County Comprehensive Plan, pursuant to an application by the property owners of said acreage under the amendment procedures established in sections 163.3161 through 163.3248 Florida statutes, as amended, providing for changing the land use classification from agricultural to commercial of certain lands within the unincorporated area of Bradford County, Florida, repealing resolutions in conflict and providing for an effective date. Again, we need to ask for public comments, a motion for a vote, and a vote.
Okay. Are there any public comments? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion for approval of the, also read by Ms. Andrews. The motion for approval.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the application S240312A as read by Mr. Andrews.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Doherty, a second by Commissioner Reddick. Is there any further discussions or questions? If not, all by the sign of aye, approval.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposal? 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Next, this is the zoning companion to the future land use we just read. So this is Z 24-01, an application by Susan E. Perkins to amend the official zoning atlas of the land development regulations by changing the zoning district from agricultural to commercial intensive on the property described as follows. Again, I will skip the legal and just read the Bradford County parcel number, which is 04757-0-00000, and again containing 3.34 acres. I'll read it by title. This is resolution number PZ/LPA Z 24-01, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Bradford County, Florida, serving as the Planning and Zoning Board of Bradford County, Florida, and the local planning agency of Bradford County, Florida, recommending to the Board of County Commissioners of Bradford County, Florida, approval of an amendment of less than 10 contiguous acres of land, the official zoning atlas of the Bradford County Land Development Regulations, pursuant to an application by the property owner of said acres, providing for rezoning from agricultural to commercial intensive of certain lands within the unincorporated area of Bradford County, Florida, repealing all resolutions in conflict, providing for an effective date. And once again, we need to ask for public comments, make a motion for a vote, and a vote.
Are there any public comments? Hearing none, ask for motion for approval.
I make a motion to approve Z 24-01 as read.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Reddick. Is there a second to the motion? Second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further questions or discussion? Okay. If not, all in favor,
Aye.
sign aye. Any opposal? 4-0.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chairman. The next land use and zoning change we're going to read is also owned by Ms. Perkins. She just has contiguous pieces of property together, but since they have two different parcel numbers, we have two different applications. So this is S 240312B, an application by Susan E. Perkins to amend the future land use plan map of the comprehensive plan by changing the land use classification from agricultural to commercial on property described as follows. This is being Bradford County parcel number 04758-0-00000 and containing 2.98 acres more or less. And again, I'll read this by title. This is resolution number PZ/LPA S240312B. This is a resolution of the Board of Bradford County, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Bradford County, Florida, serving as the Planning and Zoning Board of Bradford County, Florida, and the local planning agency of Bradford County, Florida, relating to an amendment of 50 or less acres of land to the future land use plan map of the Bradford County Comprehensive Plan, pursuant to an application by the property owner of said acreage under the amendment procedures established in sections 163.3161 through 163.3248 Florida statutes as amended, providing for changing the land use classification from agricultural to commercial of certain lands from the unincorporated area of Bradford County, Florida, repealing resolutions in conflict, and providing an effective date. And once again, we need to ask for public comments, a motion for a vote, and a vote.
At this time, are there any public comments? Hearing none, we'll ask for a motion for approval.
I make a motion to approve the land use change for Bradford County parcel number 04758-0-00000.
Okay.
For approval.
Approval. Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by, Commissioner Andrews. All in favor? Any discussion, questions? All in favor, but sign aye.
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 I guess just for the minutes, that was
What's that?
S240312B.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Do we need to amend the motion to include that or?
No,
just
ma'am,
a
I think we're
correction?
fine. We
Okay.
just described it by the parcel number, which is also the application number, so we should be fine.
Okay,
Yes,
all
ma'am.
right.
All right, next is a zoning companion to this land use change. This is Z24-02. And again, this is an application by Susan E. Perkins to amend the official zoning atlas of the land development regulations by changing the zoning district from agricultural to commercial intensive on property described as follows. Again, this is Bradford County parcel number 04758-0-00000 and containing 2.98 acres more or less. And I'll read this by title. This is a resolution number PZ/LPA Z24-02, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Bradford County, Florida, serving as the Planning and Zoning Board of Bradford County, Florida, and the local planning agency of Bradford County, Florida, recommending to the Board of County Commissioners of Bradford County, Florida, approval of an amendment of less than 10 contiguous acres of land to the official zoning atlas of the Bradford County Land Development Regulations, pursuant to an application by the property owner of said acreage, providing for rezoning from agricultural to commercial intensive of certain lands within the unincorporated area of Bradford County, Florida, repealing all resolutions in conflict, providing for an effective date. And once again, we ask for public comments, a motion for a vote, and a vote.
Are there any public comments? Hearing none, I ask for a motion for approval.
I make a motion that we approve Z2402 as read by Mr. Andrews.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Andrews and second by Commissioner Doherty. Any questions or discussion? All in favor by the sign aye.
Aye.
4-0.
And again, I should explain to the board before we start, just the location of this property. I don't mean to begrudge the property, but just by location, this property lies between the Red Dog Saloon and the old Crosley Manufacturing Trailer place that's north on the west side of 301 before you turn to go to Hampton. And I had a map with the information I sent y'all. I should explain that before we got started, but that's the location of this parcel. And so there's commercial to the south of it, there's industrial to the north of it, so we're not spot zoning. Okay, just in case. All right. Okay, yes, ma'am. All right, this will be the last two.
Okay.
All right, I'll start with this. This parcel is located at the corner of US 301 and County Road 18, there at the intersection of Hampton. For lack of better terms, this parcel lies north of 18 where the Dollar General store is there at US 301 and 18. So this is S2430, this is S240326A. This is an application by Hunt Real Estate Service Incorporated and Hunt RE Acquisitions LLC as agents for Karen Gray Thomas to amend the future land use plan map of the comprehensive plan by changing the land use classification from residential low to commercial on property described as follows, being Bradford County parcel number 00967-0-00000, and containing 14.80 acres more or less. I'll read this by title. This is Resolution S240326A. Sorry, let me back up. This is Resolution PZ/LPA S240326A. This is the resolution of the Board of Bradford County, the Board of County Commissioners of Bradford County, Florida, serving as the Planning and Zoning Board of Bradford County, Florida, and the local planning agency of Bradford County, Florida, relating to an amendment of 50 or less acres of land to the future land use plan map of the Bradford County Comprehensive Plan, pursuant to an application by the property owner of said acreage under the amendments procedures established in sections 163.3161 through 163.3248 Florida statutes as amended, providing for changing the land use classification from residential low density to commercial of certain lands within the unincorporated area of Bradford County, Florida, repealing resolutions in conflict and providing for an effective date. And again, we need public comments, a motion for a vote, and a vote.
Are there any public comments? All right. And when you come to the mic, just speak in it so it'll project out. Thank you. Just tell us who you are and
Yes, good evening. Jerry Depkowski, professional engineer with the state of Florida, representing City of Hampton as their city engineer.
thank you.
So City of Hampton does not object to this amendment. However, what we would like to discuss is we have seen a preliminary site plan for this, and we do have concern the future traffic that will be exiting onto County Road 18. We know the state's going to take care of 301, but we have a concern of the future traffic that could come out to County Road 18. We ask that the county take a look at the future traffic and also let the City of Hampton participate in reviewing that study.
Thank you, sir.
There is a representative from the agent, the applicant agent. If Mr. Carroll, if you please state your name and your address. And
My name is Kevin McCraw. I'm with Hunt Real Estate Services. My address is 5601 Mariner Street, Suite 100, Tampa, Florida, 33609. And yes, to address Jerry's comments, we're going to have to do a full traffic study and everything else with DOT, and the county, of course, is going to have input once we get to the design phase of this project. This is just zoning and land use currently. So like I said, we're more than willing to work and make sure that there's a safe traffic situation for everybody involved. So that's, we'll address that later on the stage of this project.
Okay. Any questions?
I have a question, Madam Chair.
If you
Sir.
come back, Mr. McGraw.
So on, of course, on the site plan that was currently issued or that you guys were reviewing, so there would be an entrance and an exit coming off of 18 and then
Yes, sir.
also 30.
On the preliminary site plan, we have a right in, right out on 301.
Okay.
And two access points on County Road 18.
Okay.
One lines up directly with the Dollar General and the other is further east.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask if it was further east, because I think that would certainly help alleviate some of the issues with, people pulling in and
Stacking
pulling
of
out.
the lights and everything else.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
And again, this is all just preliminary. We haven't sent anything to CHW yet, our county engineer yet, so we're just trying to get past this phase. And then once we get past this, then we'll move forward with the site plan. But nothing's been presented to us yet except just preliminary.
Okay. Any further questions for Mr. McGraw? Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So we've heard the comments, and do I have a motion for approval?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve S240326A as read by Mr. Andrews.
Okay. A
Second.
motion by Commissioner Doherty and second by Commissioner Reddick. Any further discussion, questions? If not, all in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
4-0.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Last item on the agenda for tonight, excuse me, is the zoning companion to this land use change. This is Z 24-03. This is an application by Hunt Real Estate Service Incorporated and Hunt RE Acquisitions LLC as agents for Karen Gray Thomas to amend the official zoning atlas of the land development regulations by changing the zoning district from residential mixed single-family mobile home to commercial intensive on property described as follows. Again, this is Bradford County parcel number 00967-0-00000, containing 14.8 acres of land, more or less. Now, I'll read this by title. This is resolution number PZ/LPA Z 24-03. This is a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Bradford County, Florida, serving as the Planning and Zoning Board of Bradford County, Florida, and the local planning agency of Bradford County, Florida, recommending to the Board of County Commissioners of Bradford County, Florida, approval of an amendment of 10 or more contiguous acres of land to the official zoning atlas of the Bradford County Land Development Regulations pursuant to an application by the property owner of said acreage, providing for rezoning from residential mixed single-family mobile home -2 to commercial intensive of certain lands within the unincorporated area of Bradford County, Florida, repealing all resolutions in conflict and providing for an effective date. And once again, we need to ask for public comments. We need to make a motion for a vote and a vote.
Are there any public comments? Hearing none, may I have just one moment? Yes, if you would come back to the mic and do that all over again. Tell us who you are and so forth.
Yes, good evening. Jerry Depkowski, professional engineer, Florida, also City of Hampton's engineer. And we do not have an objection to amending the zoning atlas. However, we request that when the county is reviewing the traffic analysis, that the City of Hampton be involved in that process.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Any further comments? We miss anyone? If not, if we have a motion at this time,
Make a motion to approve Z 24-03 as read by Mr. Andrews.
okay. Motion by Commissioner Doherty, second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor by the sign aye.
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 For, any opposed? None. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chairman. That's all I have for the Planning and Zoning Board.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that would conclude our Board of Adjustment and our zoning. We would come back in about 9 minutes for our regular commissioner meeting. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our Board of County Commissioner, our regular board is now called to order. It is now 6:30. Commissioner Andrews is going to lead us in the invocation and the pledge of allegiance.
Bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this day. God, thank you for the many blessings that you give each and every one of us. God, be with us as we go through this business tonight, Lord, and let us do the best thing that we can possibly do for the county, God, and every decision that we make. I pray that it'll be a good decision, Lord, for you, and that you will bless it through our operation. Dear Lord, be with us, and God, we thank you and give you all the praise and the glory. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all for being here tonight. And at this time, we're going to have our public hearing with the zoning and Mr. Andrews, if you would come forward here. And item A, considering the approval of.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just for information purposes, these are the resolutions we passed in the previous Planning and Zoning Board meeting. These are the ordinances that are the companion documents that are required. So again, this is, I'll read this by title. This is an ordinance of Bradford County, Florida, amending the future land use plan map of the Bradford County Comprehensive Plan as amended, relating to an amendment of 50 or less acres of land pursuant to an application S 240312A by the property owners of said acreage under the amendments established in sections 163.3161 through 163.3248 Florida statutes as amended, providing for changing the land use classification from Ag 2 to commercial of certain lands in the unincorporated area of Bradford County, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing for an effective date. And again, this is Bradford County parcel number, or this is S 240312A, Bradford County parcel number 04757-0-00000. We need to ask for public comments. We need to make a motion for a vote and a vote, please, ma'am.
At this time, I'll call for public comments on item A. Hearing none, I ask for a motion for approval.
I make a motion to approve S 240312A as read.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Reddick. Is there a second to the motion?
So,
Second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion or questions? If not, and for the record, note that Mr. Thompson is present. Thank you. All in favor by the sign aye.
aye.
Any opposed? 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is item number 2B. Consider approval of Z 24-01, Ms. Perkins, zoning change for Bradford County parcel number 04757-0-00000, and I'll read this by title. This is an ordinance of Bradford County, Florida, amending the official zoning atlas of the Bradford County Land Development Regulations as amended, relating to the rezoning of less than 10 contiguous acres of land pursuant to an application Z 24-01 by the property owner of said acres, providing for changing the zoning district from agricultural to commercial intensive of certain lands within the unincorporated area of Bradford County, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing for an effective date. And again, we would like to ask for public comments. We need a motion for a vote and a vote.
Are there any public comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion for approval?
Make a motion to approve Z 24-01 as read by Mr. Andrews.
Motion by Commissioner Doherty. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Reddick. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor by the sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is item 2C. This is also, the property belongs to Ms. Perkins, but we will consider approval of S 240312B, land use change for Bradford County parcel number 04758-0-00000. And this is an ordinance of Bradford County, Florida, amending the future land use plan map of the Bradford County Comprehensive Plan as amended, relating to an amendment of 50 or less acres of land pursuant to an application S 240312B by the property owners of said acreage, under the amendment procedures established in sections 163.3161 through 163.3248 Florida statutes as amended, providing for changing the land use classification from agricultural to commercial of certain lands in the unincorporated area of Bradford County, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing for an effective date. And once again, we'd like to ask for public comments, a motion for a vote, and a vote.
At this time, are there any public comments? Okay, on item C. Hearing none, do I have a motion for approval?
Make a motion that we approve S 240312B as read by Mr. Andrews.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Andrews. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Reddick, or one of you? Second by Commissioner Reddick. Any questions or further discussion? All in favor by the sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is item 2D. Consider approval of Z 24-02 S. Perkins, zoning change for Bradford County parcel number 04758-0-00000, and I'll read it by title. This is an ordinance of Bradford County, Florida, amending the official zoning atlas of the Bradford County Land Development Regulations as amended, relating to the rezoning of less than 10 contiguous acres of land pursuant to an application Z 24-02 by the property owner of said acres, providing for changing the zoning district from agricultural to commercial intensive of certain lands in the unincorporated area of Bradford County, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances of conflict, and providing an effective date. And once again, we'd like to ask for public comments, a motion for a vote, and a vote.
Okay, are there any public comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion for approval?
Make a motion that we approve Z 24-02 as read by Mr. Andrews.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Andrews,
Second.
second by Commissioner Doherty. Any further questions or discussion? If not, all in favor by the sign aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? 5-0.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is item 2E. Consider approval of S 240326A, Ms. Karen Thomas, of a land use change for Bradford County parcel number 00967-0-00000, and I will read it by title. This is an ordinance of Bradford County, Florida, amending the future land use plan map of the Bradford County Comprehensive Plan as amended, relating to an amendment of 50 or less acres of land pursuant to an application S 240326A by the property owner of said acreage under the amendment procedures established in sections 163.3161 through 163.3248 Florida statutes as amended, providing for changing the land use classification from residential low density to commercial of certain lands in the unincorporated area of Bradford County, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances of conflict, and providing an effective date. And once again, we need to ask for public comments, a motion for a vote, and a vote.
Are there any public comments? Okay, all right. If you would come forward and state your name and your business.
Good evening, Jerry Depkowski, professional engineer in Florida. I'm also the City of Hampton's engineer, and the city does not object to this land use change. However, we would like to be involved when the traffic analysis is being performed as part of the site plan review. The City of Hampton would like to be involved in that review.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Okay, at this time, excuse me, I have a motion for approval.
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve S 240326A as read by Mr. Andrews.
Okay. A motion by Commissioner Reddick. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion or questions? If not, all in favor by the sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. And lastly, this is agenda item 2F. Consider approval of Z 24-03, Ms. Karen Thomas, a zoning change for Bradford County parcel number 00967-0-00000, and I will read it by title. Excuse me. This is an ordinance of Bradford County, Florida, amending the official zoning atlas of the Bradford County Land Development Regulations as amended, relating to the rezoning of 10 or more contiguous acres of land pursuant to an application Z 24-03 by the property owner of said acreage, providing for changing the zoning district from residential mixed single-family/mobile home to commercial intensive certain lands within the incorporated area of Bradford County, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances of conflict, and providing for an effective date. And again, we would like to ask for public comments, a motion for a vote, and a vote.
Okay. I have, public comments. Yes.
Good evening. Jerry Dubkowski, professional engineer, state of Florida, also city of Hampton's engineer. We do not object to the zoning change. However, we would like to be involved as part of the site plan review and the traffic review. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other comments? If not, I ask for motion for approval.
Make a motion to approve Z 24-03 as read by Mr. Andrews.
Motion by Commissioner Doherty is the second to the motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Reddick. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor by the sign aye.
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 Any opposed? 5-0.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Andrews. At this time, are there any public comments or are there any cards that we missed? Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 4, approval for the consent agenda. Okay. Do we have a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Commissioner Reddick made the motion and second by Commissioner Thompson. Any further discussion, questions? All in favor by the sign aye.
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 Any opposed? 5-0. Okay, thank you. And moving on to the managed care option, MCO funds. Our chief is here, Mr. Carter.
Hello.
Good evening.
Madam Chair, Board.
Hey, good evening.
So coming before you this evening, we are needing to, so the Speedville Fire Station, Station 10, there are going to be some costs that will have to be covered by the county. As you know, they've donated $250,000 for that project. That is to cover everything within 5 feet from the perimeter of the building. So essentially everything outside of that 5 foot, the hookups for the septic, power, all of those things will have to be covered by the county. We do have the funding from the managed care organization, or managed care MCO funds, that's what we call them, that we received last year in the amount of $479,000 and some change. And so we do have the funding there to be able to use to cover the costs of the expenditures for the Speedville Fire Station project, to complete that project. So I'm asking for item A would be the approval to use MCO funds for the Speedville project, the living quarters project, not to exceed $50,000.
Any question for Mr. Carter on A for the Speedville living quarters?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner
the
Andrews.
funds, then, what were they to be used for?
There was no specific guidelines as far as what they can be used for. What they cannot be used for is to pay the cost share for next year. So this is the program where we essentially pay in and then we get an amount back that's double or triple that amount typically. And so again,
How much did you say it was?
this year is $479,135.48 that we received from that program.
And, can you elaborate a little bit what the 50,000 would ensure or cover?
So that's going to cover the septic tank. That's going to cover the electrical hookups. That's going to cover, again, anything that's 5 feet outside of the building or more. So hooking into the Clay County water line, things of that nature that just won't be covered by the contractor himself.
Any other
Yes, Madam
Commissioner
Chair.
Doherty?
Chief, do we know why we're not using the existing tank that was put in? I can't imagine that being with just a small office there,
Sure.
that it could be utilized, with the new living quarters.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was inspected. We had multiple people go out there and look at it, and it's been reviewed multiple times, and that will not meet our needs for out there. They said there's no way for us to use the existing tank.
Or was that Mr. Dennis?
Yes.
With the Alachua County?
County.
Okay.
I know,
Okay.
Mr. Crawford, Rod Crawford's been out there a few times to just verify what, what he said seems to be accurate.
Did they give you an approximate cost for just the septic tank if they put that?
I believe the septic tank quote was around 9,000. And I think that's probably going to be the most expensive thing. We have a few companies that are donating quite a few things to the project as well. Gator Fire, Brian Green is his name, and he's donating all the equipment and labor for the fire sprinkler system, which is huge. Mike Cruz is donating the cabinetry and countertops. And so we're getting a lot of that stuff donated that we can, but there are going to be some costs to finish out the project. And based on the conversations with the contractor, he believes 50,000 should be sufficient to cover the costs. And that was a high estimate. He believes that'll be a high estimate. So.
Any other questions? Okay. Is there a motion for approval of A for them to use not to exceed the 50,000 for that Speedville living area?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to use the MCO funds for Station 10 not to exceed $50,000.
Okay, is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion or question? All in favor, sign
Aye.
aye. Okay, 5-0.
Okay, moving on to item B. Thank you all very much. We are looking for approval to purchase a new ambulance. Currently, as we sit right now, we have one ambulance on the road that has less than 250,000 miles today. And so I checked that this morning and verified that our ambulances that are in service today have one that's less than 250,000 miles. We average about 65,000 miles annually per ambulance. So we've got to get caught up. We're in decent shape right now with the remounts that we've done, but we need to get caught up, on purchasing a new ambulance. We are at the point to where we have one ambulance in our fleet that has not been remounted. So we have one that is a new ambulance that has not been remounted yet, and it's not ready to be remounted. So that means that we are at the point of remounting remounts, if that makes sense. So we need to put a new ambulance in the fleet. I don't have an exact cost on that, and so what I'm asking for is just approval to not exceed the amount available in those MCO funds. And this will be a multi-year project. This will roll into next fiscal year as well due to the supply chain issues. So I guess what I'm looking for is approval to purchase, to use the MCO funds for purchase of a new ambulance this year if possible, but also to extend those funds into next year if it does not happen within this year. Ms. Rachel, did I do that right? Okay.
Okay.
Just wanted to
So,
make sure.
so Chief, I know that you don't know how much this new ambulance is going to cost, but can you give me some rough
I'd say
idea about what?
ballpark $300,000 to $350,000.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then my other question, was that a fire truck? With the vehicle that we were getting that Representative Brandon provided for us,
That's a fire truck. Yes.
that's the fire truck. Okay. And you shared with us, I guess it was like a state-of-the-art vehicle over by the conference center was it last year? Was that? You all brought it over and showed it off. It may be over a year, but anyhow, it was kind of a state-of-the-art with all kinds of equipment. So I guess I'm just asking what you're saying that the state of your current vehicle is not good.
Yes, ma'am. And, Mr. Dodds and his team has been awesome at keeping up with the repairs and maintenance for us, but I'm sure he'll be a big advocate for us getting a new one as well, because it keeps his team busy. So,
Okay. I guess, we want our people to be safe when they're transported, and I get that piece, and I want that, because if you had to come for me, I want that too. But I was just concerned about the amount of the fund, on whether or not that should just go to our general fund if we're in the process of building our budget for this year, so that if we have to get it, we have to get it. But to use those funds or have it into our general fund and then delegate it out after we kind of know where we stand financially was a concern I had.
And to be honest with you, we initially, when we talked about the MCO funds, we thought that the cost share from the county could be paid out of those MCO funds. And again, in learning more about those funds, that's the only thing it cannot be used for. So we cannot pay the county match out of those MCO funds. So we have to either use our reserves for that. So our reserve for contingency, which is 500,000. And then again, we would not be able to utilize the MCO funds for that portion of it. So I would be coming to ask you for an ambulance either way, and it would either come out of contingency or these MCO funds. And so in paying the cost share out of the contingency, it makes more sense in talking with Ms. Roden to utilize the MCO funds to pay for the ambulance.
Can I add something, Chairman?
Yes.
Didn't we do two remounts 2 years ago?
We did, and we're fixing to take delivery of one of those. The one
Okay, they never got them.
Well, we got one that's in service, and it's got 54,000 miles on it already. We took that in September, and we get one either tomorrow or next week as well. So, but we've got to get. I mean, they're a year to 2 years out if we order it today. So
Right. Okay.
we're going to fall way behind if not.
Well, I guess my position is, if you need the ambulance and we have to get it, we're gonna get it, no matter what,
Right.
where it is. But my concern with is that we're trying to get the budget set and taking a look at that. And if we have all of those funds together, we can make that decision later and still give you what you need. But we need to know what we're looking at. That's the only thing that concerns me.
And this was just looked at as unanticipated revenue. This is not something that we budget for because we don't know the amount of it. So this is something that essentially is again, unanticipated revenue that can't go towards this year's budget because it's already a balanced budget. So for next year, again, rolling this amount into whatever the cost would be for next year for that ambulance.
Okay.
I'm looking at you because I just want to make sure I'm explaining this properly.
You stated that very well.
Thank
you. Yes.
All right. Just before we obligated it,
Sure.
but, you know, if you broke down today, we got to buy it. You know, and it could come out of that. But if we don't have to buy it today, that we have it as a part of our whole budget and then, you know, give it to you as you need it. That's the only thing. I don't know how anybody else feels. But.
Well, Madam Chair, if I
Yeah.
may, and Chief, in all fairness to Mr. Dodds, we just had in our last meeting where he talked about doing a couple roads and he didn't know how much they were going to cost.
Sure.
So we asked him to bring that back to us. I think the only thing that would be different in your situation is we're saying either way, we're going to have to buy an ambulance.
Right.
So whether it's coming out of the general fund or whether it's coming out of these funds, but, you know, I'd feel more comfortable knowing what we're paying for the unit, you know, before we approve it. But again, if, as Madam Chair said, if it's something that we need,
Yes, sir.
and, you know, then we need to go ahead and pull the trigger on it. If it's something that, you know, can wait and you can come back and give us a number, then I think that at the end of the day, we would at least know that number. But again, to me, right now, just thinking that, I mean, if we need it, then we're going to get it anyway. So it's kind of a moot point. But anyway, I just, like I said, in all fairness to, you know, Mr. Dodds, like I said, you know, we asked him to come back with a number. You know, it's just a matter of being blindsided by some things.
I get it.
Like the firehouse, you know, that was something that we knew was donated, and now we're 50,000 into that. So,
Yes, sir.
you know, there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? So anyway, all right. That's all
So,
I have.
or any other comments? So that would be to my recommendation. Let's just hold off on obligating it, and then we have to come back and do it, and you come back with a number for us.
Sure. And the trouble with the number for that is, you know, by the time we order if we order the vehicle today, the price may change based on what the market is then at the time that we actually take delivery of it. But also the same thing goes for the actual ambulance itself. And so there is a point certainly where we get locked into a number with them and it can't change, you know, regardless of what the build time is. But I can definitely get you a more concrete number and bring that back to you.
Okay.
Well, as I stated, you know, I think again, you know, I was trying to be fair to our other departments, asking them to bring a number back but what I'm hearing is that we're going to buy it anyway. So, I mean, as far as whether you come back with a number or not, I think it's, again, a moot point. So, I mean, it would be my recommendation that we just move forward and make the approval to consider using those funds for the new ambulance. In the motion,
Is that a motion?
yes.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Doherty and a second by Commissioner Reddick. All in favor, sign aye.
Right.
Me, I just said no for now, but yes later, but that would be my vote for right now.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Thank you, board. I appreciate your support.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, Madam Chair, was your vote a nay? Okay.
I may. Okay, next we have the donation of the Bradford County Fair Rescue. We have Commissioner Emily Hoffman that's here from the town of Lauder. Let's welcome her.
Hi there, my name is Emily. This is my son, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
And I wanted to bring Vonda up because she's been a big part of things. I just wanted to do something small for the fire department and rescue. And what we did was I already donated, but I wanted to make it, hopefully in the future we could do more. But today we would like to make a statement that we're giving $50,480 to them, and they can do whatever they want with it. And we just are so excited to have them in our little town of Lottie, and that, he represents us well up there, and I'm just happy for it. So.
Okay. Thank you.
And she says it's a small gift, but $15,000 is not a small gift by any means, and certainly appreciate it. We're going to use these funds to purchase new bunker gear for our firefighters, as well as new fire nozzles. So if we can grab a picture real quick. That would be
Oh, yes,
great.
can somebody take one?
We get a septic tank?
We can set six-
Marcus. Okay.
What's my head too bright? Putting the glare on the camera. All right, thank you very much.
And thank you, Town of Lauder. That's just
So much.
amazing, and thank you all so much for coming. Okay. We're now moving on to our clerk's report. Mr. Thompson,
We're all good.
You all good? Okay. And at this time, we have our Sheriff Smith.
You off the hook?
No, just want to give y'all a quick update. To download your phone, the new Sheriff app is out. It's in its
New
testing
Sheriff
phases,
app?
but
What
you
is
go Bradford County Sheriff's Office. You go to your Apple or to your Google Play App Store, whatever it is, download it. Like I say, you get all the latest updates, information, everything at the touch of your fingers, and you can download it. So it's finally here. If you got any ideas or suggestions, we're open to it. We're working any kinks or bugs that you may have, but you can sign yourself up for the alerts. If there's a storm, escaped inmate, flooding, whatever it may, we can put that information out instantaneously and touch people's hands through their app, notify them of what's going on. It gives you the latest updates, news releases, those kind of things on your phone, but it gives you a ton of information, whether it be animal control, emergency management, all those type things are in there. So download that and you have it on the latest and greatest on your phone. So that's our latest update. We've been working on it for several months, and the team finally got it together. So it's there at your fingertips.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Sheriff.
But if I may.
Sheriff. Oh,
I just wanted to say that I really appreciate one being invited over to honor the dispatchers today. And I think it's very important what you did. And I'm sure that Ben was probably involved too, but because a wise man once told me, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And just doing a little something for our people or for our staff to let them know how much we appreciate them. It touched my heart, and I just wanted to tell you, I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that credit goes to my staff. Like I say, until the day I realized I'm setting up tables over there, I went, it must be something. So I asked. I said, oh, I have great staff, and they really, with Chief Carter and them, and they really pitched in and help out because we all work with them every day. They get kept in a
Right.
bubble, but to see them recognized, good eating, good to thank them in a small way, but it goes a long way with them. I can't tell you the thank yous and the feedback, which is always positive, but the credit goes to my staff totally because I'd have been off somewhere else if not been told. So, but they do those things. I'm blessed.
Well, and like you said, the dispatchers, they stay in that little cave and, they do their job very well without recognition. And so I
do.
just, it meant a lot.
It's the toughest job in the sheriff's office, I can promise you, in the county. They get everybody that wanted you 5 minutes before they called. They're getting screamed at, hollered at, cussed at on some occasions. And people call you when they're worst most of the time. So they're in a crisis. So those people take a big beating every day when they come to work, what they have to handle.
And I just would express my regrets because I didn't know, just like you did. And so I already spanked the sheriff on the hand.
That's
like
it. I
that
didn't get
because-
scolded. I'm married. I'm used to it. So,
But the dispatchers are very, very important. So the absence of, was not intentional. So we very much appreciate our dispatch.
absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank you.
Madam Chair, if I could, I'd like to take up a donation from the board to get the sheriff shooting lessons. Our neighboring sheriff is a back-to-back winner of the Shoot with the Sheriff. Which
Oh, Gator DeLoach won it last year now. He won the year before. Gator DeLoach won it
okay,
last
he's a
year.
two-time winner.
Yes.
But anyway, he's our neighbor, and they're always a rival. We know that, and we just want to get you out there next year and see if you can hit a few of them.
Hey, I'm a great host. I don't want to be didn't want to brag and show off home. But I want to keep them coming. But it was a great fundraiser. We raised a lot of money for our charity, and every penny of that goes back into the community through our charity. We have the Bradford Sheriff charities, and every dime, there's no funding. Whatever gets raised, it gets cut out in checks, whether it be 4-H, FFA, football, girls softball. It all goes back into the community.
Right. Well, thank you, Sheriff. Thanks for doing
Thank
that.
you for coming out and shooting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, I didn't see you shooting.
But you didn't.
I seen all them zeros. I didn't know what them zeros were on there.
He shot with his other friends.
Oh,
Sheriff.
okay.
Oh, he shot with his other friends. Is that what it was? No, he did come out and support it, and everybody has. Everybody's chipped in a way. It's a busy day, and to get the turnout that we had over 120 shooters. It was a great day.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot of fun, and
6 of my fellow sheriffs showed up, so I was blessed.
everybody said a lot of good things about it, Sheriff. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you,
Sheriff, and I
Commissioner.
did hear that we had a semi-pro in the county today. Somebody was talking about, so I'll talk to him and see if I can't get you a good
I do
pro.
a little practice. I spray and pray more than I aim. So
Thank you so much, Sheriff. At this time, we will have our state-of-the-art presentation. We'll have it at the Carnegie, the county manager's report on annual update for the state of our county.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chairman. It's hard to believe that it's been a year since the last one and 18 months total that we've been here. And I think you'll see that we've done some really good things and looking towards the future to do more great things. So I'll let everybody know that the chairman has agreed to give us restroom breaks every 30 minutes. So I'm just joking. It shouldn't take long at all. All right. So back in February, we modified and amended our mission and vision statement. So I always think it's a good practice when you're talking about a progress report to more or less gauge your progress based upon your mission and your vision statement. That way, if you need to adjust it, you can, or you can keep moving in the direction that we're going. So I've always considered a mission statement to be actionable. And our mission, the Board of County Commissioners of Bradford County, Florida, is to protect the health, safety, and well-being of the residents, communities, and environment of Bradford County through responsible governing of the resources entrusted to the board by its citizens. Our vision, which I consider to be more aspirational, is for Bradford County to be recognized as a safe rural community, rich in history, culture, and common values, which strives for excellence as a great place to live, work, raise a family, and experience planned economic growth and development. So keep these things in mind as we go forward tonight, and then we'll be able to tell if we're on the right track or not. Now, when we first started out, we said that one of the main goals was to build manager and commissioner relationships. I think we've done a really good job of that, and we've done it by meeting regularly with each of you to understand your priority goals and expectations. We've attended conferences and trainings together. We've attended community events and town hall meetings. And of course, we have regular phone calls and agenda meetings with each of you. The other thing that we agreed early on that we wanted to do was build public trust and have open communication. We've achieved that by attending and speaking at Rotary, Kiwanis, and other civic and business meetings to engage with the community leaders. I had a little bit of an advantage when I started here because I already had relationships with a number of the leaders in the community. But since then, we've developed other relationships that have been very valuable. And that's key and critical to any success that we might have as a county government. We've met with the constitutional officers and other county staff to understand their priorities and needs. I do that as often as I can, every other month or so maybe. And we also began live streaming our board meetings to allow others to be able to participate in their local government. Another priority for all of us was to make the county manager's office open and accessible to everyone. So we don't lock the door anymore. It stays open. There's somebody there to answer the phone. If there's not, then there's a message that will instruct the caller to do whatever needs to be done. And if the door is ever locked, there's a sign on the door saying where we are and what we're doing. So we've made things as accessible as we possibly can. Another initial priority was to update and amend the board personnel and purchasing policies. We've been working on that since last November, and in February, the board adopted the board policy. Amanda has been, as a matter of fact, she was working on the personnel policy today, and we're about to wrap it up, and hopefully we'll bring it to you for approval on May 7th. And then the purchasing policy, we've been working closely with the chief deputy clerk and her finance folks to make sure that we take this opportunity to, to make the changes that need to be made, get it updated, and get it before you on May 16th. And as I mentioned earlier, we revised our mission and vision statements back in February. We took the opportunity a few months ago, several months ago actually, to sit down with the chief deputy clerk and her folks to take a look at our insurance coverage. We identified different opportunities to update and adjust our coverage. It only resulted in $3,600 in annual savings, which isn't a whole lot of money in the overall scheme of things, but just by virtue of conducting that exercise, we were able to update our policies and become more efficient and effective through our insurance coverage. Solid waste assessment. Our assessment was established in 1987 at $75 a year and never adjusted. Our solid waste operation cost us $1.7 million a year, and that left a shortfall of $1.2 million. So by raising the assessment to $125 a year, we decreased that shortfall to $500,000. So we're gaining on it. Surplus property, we made it a priority to get some of these vehicles and equipment off of the books. So we sold 9 vehicles and or equipment for a total of $41,565, and 1 commercial building sold for $168,750 for total revenue of $210,315. Now, this was a project that overlapped between the first 6 months and the second And then the next 12 months, this was the Keystone Heights Airport access road. When we got here, we were told that it was unachievable. We were going to have to eat the money that we had already spent on the project and then not get any of the $2.3 million DEO grant to finish it. So my public works director and I, Mr. Dodds, we decided we'd take one more run at it, and we built a relationship with the DEO officials in Tallahassee, and they were wonderful. They were great. And they allowed us to modify the scope, and we resumed the work. And Jason finished it up on June 23rd of 2023, $2.3 million that we avoid losing. And now we have an access road to the airport. And oh, by the way, we have approval from DOT to go ahead and tie the road in to 100. We're just waiting on the airport to realign the fencing so that we have a way to turn in and park before you get to the gate. So we're, I know Mr. Kirkland is working on that, and as soon as we get that done with them, we'll connect the road. Now, these are our public works gas stacks projects that we completed in the last 12 months. A little over $500,000 in gas tax road work that Jason has done. And these are our FDOT projects. Almost, well, $300,000 worth of FDOT road work. More public works projects. The HVAC system in this entire building has been replaced. That was money that you earmarked from the ARPA funding to pay for. And I think everyone has been really pleased with the outcome. We had a couple of hiccups along the way, but in the end, it worked out fine. We've been removing dirt from the pit, Public Works pit. So far, Jason has moved 1,331 loads of dirt that we sold to New River for $97,216. We did a little paving at the Bradford County Fairgrounds to help them out, and we replaced the very dangerous hydraulic lifts that were at fleet maintenance with new ones. And this is probably the biggest achievement we've had. We finally acquired the 100,000 square foot warehouse from the state of Florida. At the governor's cabinet meeting on December 19th, it was conveyed to us. And then we received the deed about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So we're working on a lease agreement with MHD Rockland. I think it's a little ambitious to say that it'll be finalized later this month, but that's what we're working towards. And when we do get in there and they start doing business, we will have created an additional $1.2 million in annual revenue, as well as brought 48 new high-wage jobs to the county. Chief Carter?
All right, see how this thing works. Yeah.
It was,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So we'll give you a little bit of our year in review. So Bradford County Fire Rescue, we ran 7,747 calls for service that we ran last year. We had 36 structure fires, 22 vehicle fires, and 76 brush fires. And this number right here staggered me when I gathered this number from our sheriff's office data. 586 traffic crashes that we managed last year. We had 59 cardiac arrests with a ROSC rate of 36%. And what that means is that if we come to you and your heart's not beating, we're able to get pulses back 36% of the time. State average is 24%, so we're 12% above the state average. We successfully, in coordination with the county manager's office, negotiated a new union contract. We graduated 6 personnel from the fire academy and 4 from paramedic school. We were awarded over $750,000 in grants and appropriation. And we taught 5 Baltimore Airway courses, which, as you know, was established by the late Dr. Giannis, and we've carried that course on, and we've been able to do that successfully 5 times last year, training over 100 providers across the state of Florida. We were the first rural agency to partner with UF Health's Neuro One, which is a matter of fact, we had a rendezvous with them today, and we've established that Fairbanks is a good kind of middle point for us. It allows them to get there and get their CT machine set up. But we had a stroke patient today that from the time we met up with them, they received the clot busting medication within 7 minutes of the time we met up with them. They put him in the back of the truck, did a CT scan, and administered that medication within 7 minutes. That happened today. We renegotiated our contract for interfacility transfers with HCA Hospital here in town. We got a 16% increase in collections from them. We also, the board approved our new EMS billing rates, which will result in increased revenue from our county as well. And we got a new engine obtained through the state for $450,000. Our Station 10 living quarters. We partnered with Keystone Heights RV Resort to finish out our living quarters at the Speedville Fire Station. Minimal cost to the county. I won't say no cost to the county, but it is minimal cost to the county. And we held our groundbreaking ceremony on March 4th, which was a great success, and appreciate all you who were there that day. We're estimated to have that project completed by June 30th of this year, which we're excited for.
Pouring concrete tomorrow.
They're pouring concrete tomorrow. Actually, I thought they did it today. It is tomorrow. Okay. So back from the appropriations that were obtained while the fire department was under the sheriff's office that were obtained for the Hilburn Springs site, we were able to get those funds reallocated to Sampson City and Theresa. And so that project is moving forward. We've contracted with CHW. They've done the surveying so far. And so that's where we're at on that project. And we're expected to have that project completed for both station, or for the Sampson City station by June of 2025. We started up the Bradford County Community Paramedicine Program. We've already partnered with the Bradford County Health Department, Meridian Healthcare, Main Street Urgent Care, and HCA Stark. We have our program brochures, which Lieutenant Weeks, will you come pass a copy to the commissioners, please? We have a program brochures, our PR materials, and a referral process already established. We have multiple PR events that are scheduled for this coming year. And we have 6 patients, actually. We had a new one sign up today. So we actually have 6 patients enrolled in that program. And one of those patients has already been successfully admitted to rehab. So that program, that's in a matter of just over 2 weeks, is what Lieutenant Weeks and Chief Rogers have done with that program. And these two here have really taken the ball and run with that program and are out there providing a great service to this community. And so, again, thank you for placing your trust in me to run that program and in these gentlemen, and for doing such a great job. So I appreciate that support. And I don't know about the Cypress Run boat ramp. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief. So on to the Cypress Run boat ramp. Jason and I met with, and I believe Commissioner Andrews was with us, met with DEP officials and the engineers from DRMP back in January. And we were, when DEP stopped issuing 404 application permits, we were kind of blown out of the water. So we were able to get a 1-year extension from FWC. So now our deadline is now June 30th of 2025. So once they get once we figure out how we're going through the permitting process, whether it be through FWC or Army Corps of Engineers, or if DEP gets their 404 application issue resolved, we'll know which direction we're going. But CHW will be our new engineer of record for the remainder of the project, and I'm certain that we'll be in good shape with them. Our SHIP office had accepted 10 rehab applications. 5 have been completed. She's accepted 2 purchase assistance applications for down payment and closing cost. And board, as you well know, you've approved a number of prepared or satisfaction of mortgages over the last 12 months. Bradford County Library, they're doing great things over there. They've got new training and team building programs. They've expanded their library services to generate additional revenue. including notary services and fax services. They have 2 new children's programs, and the staff has served over 23,000 people in the last 12 months. They've conducted 102 programs with 2,100 participants, and they developed a plan to upgrade their computer software in collaboration with our IT department. They've also added programs to meet the needs of students and citizens with disabilities. Our UF IPAS County Extension Office, they've expanded the 4-H clubs and events, including auction for student scholarships and livestock judging. They've utilized Master Gardener volunteers, reducing county and university labor costs with a Master Gardener plant sale. Master Food Preservation Volunteer Program with training. They had a food giveaway and farm share, and they're providing irrigation systems for school gardens. They do local crop and garden soil testing, and they're planning for Ag to School project at Stark Elementary. And their summer programs are facilitated by UF interns. Our Planning and Zoning Department, over the last year, they've issued or have had 30 zoning applications totaling $35,000. They've issued 16 right-of-way permits. They're now partnering with the new Northeast Florida Economic Development Corporation to identify lands that are suitable for commercial and industrial development. They're also assisting Hampton to comply with the National Flood, what is it, Randy? Flood Insurance Program, where he's in the process of preparing an interlocal agreement with Brooker, Hampton, and Lottie to allow for Bradford County's floodplain administrator to assist with their flooding issues. He's also ensuring Florida DEP and Florida State Parks Unit Management Plan is consistent with our comprehensive plan along the Palatka to Lake Butler rails to trails. He's coordinating with FWC to ensure the Florida Wildlife Corridor is not encroached. Our building department has issued 589 permits, generating $97,112. New fire station living quarters and several new businesses being newly built or renovated. And you see some of them there: Zaxby's, a mini storage, racetrack, concrete plant, Thermocell laboratory in Hampton, animal shelters, Keystone Heights RV resort expansion, rainflow gutters, Florida detention systems, welding supply store, vehicle repair garage, and generators at the Florida State Prison. And as you might expect, many residential permits have been issued with an uptick in re-roof permits. One of the goals early on was to not only to elevate our profile in Bradford County, but also to elevate us statewide. We've done that. Last June, I was asked to serve as a panelist at the Florida City and County Managers Association Annual Conference. We've attended the Florida Power and Light Economic Development Seminar, attended Florida Association of Counties Legislative Day and Florida Fire Services Day in Tallahassee. And of course, we go to Rural Counties Day. Some of the training and professional growth opportunities came at the Florida Association of Counties Legislative Conference, the Florida Rural Economic Development Summit in December, and back in February, I was asked to become a board member at the North Florida Regional Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Pam. And then, of course, the Florida Association of Counties Annual Conference last June. So what's next? Well, we're looking at evaluate a feasibility of creating a county-owned water wastewater utility to serve the Keystone Heights Airport. We have a company out of Jacksonville that's looking into grant money to pay for that study. We're identifying funding sources to contract with a consultant for countywide strategic planning. The Northeast Florida Economic Development Corporation will be partnering with us for that. We'll continue to partner with the city of Stark to extend water and wastewater to the 16301 interchange for economic development and job growth. We started a cursory analysis of county-owned properties, and we're going to expand that into a comprehensive analysis and see if we can't get more properties back on the tax roll. We anticipate the launch of our new website next month, And we're also going to be putting out an RFQ for multiple continuing services contracts. So all these things that we've talked about tonight, obviously were not done by me or Amanda. We have a leadership team in place, and this is them. And what I'd like to do now, I'd like for all my department heads and directors to stand if you're in the room. Thank you all. I don't know if anyone knows who Joe Lonsdale is or not. He's a business person, an entrepreneur in the private sector. He's worth a little over $500 million. And in his spare time, he fixes broken governments. He's a government consultant. And when you read what he says here, good government is one of the most important factors in economic growth and social well-being. He gets it, right? I mean, if you want your community to grow and succeed, there has to be good government in place. And so anyway, I wanted you to see how that ties into what we're trying to do here in Bradford County. And so commissioners, that's my report, and I'll answer any questions that you have.
Thank you for a wonderful report. And we didn't have to take a bathroom break.
That's right.
But it was concise, and just many thanks to all of the department heads. Everybody working together makes a team. And we're doing great things here, and we're moving Bradford County forward. So thank you, Mr. Carnegie.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair, I just want to say, and it might not have been ready for press time, but just want to mention some of the other involvement with you and Mr. Dodds at the APWA, American Public Works Association conference in Daytona last week or week before. And just your involvement there and being able to learn and share, from some of these larger companies or counties. And then also just knowing that who's out there that's, willing to step up and help us in situations just like we have in the past. And also for them to know that you all are willing to step up and help in a disaster or wherever it's needed. So again, probably not ready for press time, but I just want to point that out and thank you all for being involved with that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. That's all I have.
All right. Mr. Commando, our county attorney.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So it was this time last year after the stated county report where the board had some discussion as to whether or not you wanted to conduct a formal evaluation of your county manager. I provided a tool at that point. I think it was Commissioner Reddick had made a comment that, the report was probably the best indicator of Mr. Cornegay's performance, but this is really kind of the appropriate time to discuss if you want to conduct an evaluation, how you wish to do that.
Just can we do it just like gymnastics?
I'm sure Mr. Cornegay would be fine with that.
Right.
Well, I don't know how, generally I know other agencies do it by like a written evaluation and it goes, but I think he's done a very good job.
I think, can I say something?
Oh,
I
certainly.
think the job that he's done in a year, he speaks for itself. I mean, did a super job.
Thank you.
I mean, you come on running a race and you ain't slowed down yet. So you did a super job.
Thank
Commissioner Reddick?
I agree. Just a fantastic job, and it's been a pleasure working with you. And I'm just looking forward to what's going to be in the next report a year from now.
Right.
But yes, I appreciate all you do for the county.
Thank
you. And also, we do have excellent department heads. Thank every one of y'all.
Well, I'm the same way. I don't know if that we have a written report, but I think that we have done a lot of what we talked about, building trust and building relationships, and it's been a learning experience, and I think that we've come a long way. And I know I push a lot, and I do apologize to people about that, but you guys handle it well, and I appreciate you working with me. And so I think we're doing a good job moving forward.
Thank
Okay.
So, Counselor, excuse me, Madam Chair, Counselor, if it were to be made in the form of a motion, I would make a motion that we accept the county manager's report as the evaluation. And again, as everyone has said, and just echo what they're saying, that he's done a fantastic job, and we'll continue to proceed in that manner, if that's okay.
That would be appropriate, and I would tell you that as you start some of the budget workshops and discussions, traditionally in a satisfactory or above satisfactory performance evaluation would lead to some discussion between you and the manager individually, of course, to let him know if you want to see a merit increase as part of the budget preparation. So now would be the time to make that motion, Mr. Darby.
Make the motion that we meet individually with the county manager and to evaluate his performance based on meets expectations, exceeds expectations, does not meet expectations, or however we put that together. And then I think we can come back together as a board and discuss a merit increase. Would that be
You heard a motion coming from Commissioner Doherty,
I'll second.
and I second by Commissioner Thompson.
Madam Deputy Clerk, was that clear enough? Okay, thank you.
Was there something else, Mr. Commando? Okay, for clarification.
He
Oh, you
said-
heard the motion in the second coming. I need further discussion or question. Okay. All in favor, sign aye.
Aye.
Okay, 5-0.
Madam Chair, if I may, I left something out. Chief Carter, will you come back up and say what I left out?
Next week, and this, I should have mentioned this while I was up here as well. Next week, we're hosting the Northeast Regional Florida Fire Chiefs Association regional or annual meeting. And that's a huge deal. We've got over 60 fire chiefs coming from around Northeast Florida to the Charlie John Center here. And I want to thank Miss Pam for getting that ready for us and all that. But we just very exciting to have again that association coming here and seeing what Stark has to offer.
Yeah, good.
That was all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Commando?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay. Let's have the commissioners' comments. Commissioner Andrews?
Yes, there was one thing that I wanted to bring up. Like I spoke about the sheriff's recognition today, I would really like to kind of open it up into conversation between the board. I know that we've missed I think the first Friday in March is Employee Appreciation Day, but I really would like to do something for our staff. I think Mr. Cornegay said we don't have funding to do that. So it would be us take up a donation or something. And another thought that I had was that we may get with the other constitutionals and see if we wanted to pull it all together for like a county employee day. And, you know, so that we could have it down at the park. We could do a number of things.
Mr. Carnegie can tell you that in the last year, that's what I've been asking for, to do it on our courtyard right here for all of our county employees, to have a countywide employee appreciation. So I wholeheartedly agree with you.
I don't know how the others feel, if they'd be interested in doing that, but I mean, I wouldn't mind talking to the constitutionals and see if they wanted to be a part of it, or if it would just be, I mean, our board and the county employee. So, I mean,
Can we just be a part of the ones they already have?
we what?
Can we just be a part of the ones that they already have?
Well, it is, each department is individually is doing it, but this would be something collectively that everybody can participate together. Like, we're one county, we're one group, we're one body, we're one team. And to have it, like in our courtyards on the canopy, and they can, come and have an appreciation together. It may be that people, based on their work schedule, can't all be there all at the same time, but it would be a continuous event for all of the employees. That's my thought about it, but okay, I've been bringing it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, we've talked about it quite a bit. Could I make a quick comment?
Sure.
So today was the dispatchers appreciation, right? Communication workers. And I thought that what the sheriff and the fire chief did over there in Station 60 was really a nice affair. They country caterers came in and fed them barbecue and had great participation. And, something like that may be easier to pull off, quite frankly. But I would ask you to consider something like that.
Okay.
And I hate to keep referring back to the prison system, but in the prison system, we had a week that we celebrated our employees. And there were simple things that we did. I mean, one day we brought in donuts. It's not a big expense. And I mean, it's just showing them that we recognize them, we care about them, and we appreciate the job they're doing.
Concur. Thank you, Commissioner Andrews. Commissioner Thompson?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank each department head. I mean, the job that each and every one of y'all do. I mean, it's like it's just a teamwork. I mean, one don't do it all. It's from the bottom to the top. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all and the job that y'all do each and every day. And I'm just thankful I'm a part of this.
Thank you. Commissioner Andrews?
Can we kind of decide whether or not we're going to do that? Can we ask them, the rest of them?
Certainly, you asked the other.
Sure, y'all go ahead and put something up.
Okay. Would you be interested?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm in agreement.
Okay. The consensus,
But man, just,
yes.
I do remember one time we had something at the fairgrounds, and I believe it was for lunch. And do you remember that, Mrs. Roden? We're at, I believe Commissioner
Or two separate events, I
Silas
remember.
Stellers put it
It
on.
was a Christmas dinner.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that was.
And we served all the employees. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So there's a consensus to explore that. All right. Thank you. Will you finish, Mr.
Oh, you have a big fish fry.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. You finished.
Yeah. We just got to find somebody that can catch fish.
All right. Commissioner
Madam Chair, I would
Doherty?
just ask that, if we do something like that, we're not putting Mr. Cornegay or Ms. Brown in charge of having to actually set things up and do all that. I think they have enough on their plate. So I just would like to see however you guys figure that out as far as help wise or who's going to serve. That's put in place.
Actually, I think it should be us.
Yeah, we can,
We should be the ones
This,
that put
this
the
is
fire.
our day to show them how much we
Right.
appreciate that.
an
And they
appreciation
are part
team.
of our staff, so,
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything
I
else?
think we'll break the sunshine.
Okay. Commissioner Reddy?
No, I just thank everyone for being here at the meeting tonight. Great meeting, great report, Mr. Cornegay. I was looking forward to it. And all our department heads, thank you so much. And that was a really good event this afternoon. So, again, just thank everyone for being here. And Mrs. Emily Hofflin, I thank you so much for that donation. That was really, really awesome. Thank you.
Anything else, Commissioner Reddy? All right. Again, I thank you and appreciate you, and we appreciate the partnership with the city of Lodi, and we look forward to continuously working with you guys as well. And thank you for all of our departments again. And just wanted to remind the board, and if you all are free or available, on May the 4th, the Concerned Citizen is going to have a May Day celebration. It's going to be from 1 until, and it's going to be at the RJE Ball Field. They're going to be having planting of the maypole. They're going to have the community resource health fair there. They have a groundbreaking for the new playground equipment. The Senior Citizens Corner. They have food trucks and vendors there, and many sponsors that will be there. So if you can come and share in that event, it would be wonderful. And
What
just
time it starts?
it starts at 1, May the 4th. And it will be a great event. And again, I just wanted to mention that on this on the 27th is the Cancer Walk over in Lincoln City, County Road 100, starting at 9:30. And just mention today, Chamorro's raised, I think it's over $26,000 for the Cancer Walk, for their Cancer Walk for the American Cancer Society. So it's an important issue in our community. And I think that was all. And again, I believe that the hub in Hampton is going to be having, I don't know if you call it a groundbreaking or, ribbon cutting. Okay. And do you know the date of that, Pam? Okay, so if you can come out to share with that as well. Thank you. Okay. Thanks. All right. Okay. Is there anything else for the good of the order? And this is Learning Luncheon from Chamorro's. This is Thursday the 9th of May, 11:30 to 1, Charlie John Center. All right. Anything else for the good of the order? All right. If nothing more, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.